Hi, welcome to my podcast, Talking Travel with Wendy. I travel the globe interviewing really cool people in small hospitality and tourism businesses. Join me each week as I discover and share something or someone new with you. You can find more at www.travelwithwendy.net. And remember, it's always an adventure when you travel with Wendy. Hi, thanks so much for joining me here today. I am here with Emma Lansdell and Dan Fincher at Monte Sano State Park. I'm super excited about doing this Talking Travel with Wendy today with Emma, my new friend, and Dan, I don't want to say old friend, but longtime friend.
You can say old.
Longtime friend. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I am a huge hiker. I'm so glad to be back in Alabama to really explore and highlight the hiking trails. And so let's talk Monte Sano State Park.
We've been waiting to do it with you.
Yes, I know. Thank you, COVID.
Yes, ma'am.
Monte Sano, Mountain of Health, right?
Right,
and
yes, ma'am.
I was curious as it's a Spanish word for...
Correct. So it's actually Monte Sano.
Okay.
We all say Sano because we're in the South. Mountain of Health. So known for the mineral springs here on the mountain is supposed to be,
But Spanish, why Spanish? I was just wondering, do you have any idea? Yeah, me neither. Okay. That's something Google might help.
We were part of Spain at one time.
Oh, okay.
Alabama and Mississippi was a Spanish possession.
There you go.
Dan would know.
Dan knows.
Dan does. Thank you, Dan. That was awesome. The hill itself became really popular in the early 1900s, and people from all over the world, including the Vanderbilts and the Astors, they used to have a hotel here, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So they rode the railway up the mountain to the Monte Sano Hotel, which is right outside of the park, kind of adjacent to the boulevard, just right off the boulevard. And the chimney still stands today.
Okay.
They've got a really cool historical marker there in the front. It's a residential home, like the land, of course, but the chimney is something really awesome to still see.
Okay. There was a fire?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So basically, everything on the mountain has burnt at one time. This lodge facility has burnt from the original structure that the CCC built. It was in ruins for years. Staff house in the park, as well as one of the old taverns. So there's been a lot of structures that have gone over the years due to fire.
I don't think I realized this was a CCC project.
This was originally a CCC project. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And a lot of the original stone that you see in the facility was reused when they rebuilt the lodge.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
1938, it became a state park or was protected?
1938 was when the Monte Sano State Park opened.
Okay, when it opened.
Correct.
Okay.
So they had been, the CCC had been preparing all the 14 cabins that we have, the lodge, one of our staff houses, the tavern, things like that. They had been working on that before that time when the park actually became open to the public.
Was the railway the only way to get up and down the mountain?
There was a couple of other roads, but they were wagon roads, really rough.
Okay.
And they mostly went to New Hope for the cotton wagons to come across.
Oh, really?
Right.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Long distance.
Yeah.
The railway was probably the way to go.
Okay. And then there's just one little town, right? Viduta? Is
Correct.
That it?
That's it. Yes,
on the mountain. And how many people lived there, do you think, at the beginning? It was probably just slow
50.
growing. 50?
Maybe.
Yeah.
50.
Very small little area for sure.
And you share the mountain with Burritt on the mountain, which,
yes, ma'am.
Dr. Burritt, I worked there for a little while.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. And he was a homeopathic doctor. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, health, again.
That's awesome.
Natural health. So let's talk about some of the hiking trails that you have here. And Dan, you help with keeping them felled and,
I work more in, customer service, work at the gate.
Okay.
Some of the other volunteers do the maintenance on the trails. The HAMR, the Bicycle Club, and several other groups help us keep the trails up. Since mountain biking became a thing, that's really what has expanded and helped the trails on Monte Sano.
Okay.
They do. They put in a lot of service hours on the trails. So just like Dan said, they do a lot of repairs, water drainage. They do a lot of tree cleanup. They kind of do it all.
And that's all volunteer?
Mostly,
Mostly.
some of our maintenance crew does get out there, of
Okay.
course, and hike out and clean up some stuff.
Okay.
But as far as trail maintenance, repairs, like bypass areas where places need to be rerouted because of washout, things like that, the mountain biking organization, Huntsville, area mountain bikers, the HAMR Club is a section of SORBA.
Okay,
So they mainly take care of all that stuff. We work really well together, so,
that's super cool.
yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah. So you do have some trails that are not for bikers, just for hikers or walking.
Most
enthusiasts,
everything
right?
is dual usage.
Okay.
Some places have some limited biking areas where it would tell you entering, limited biking access where you would actually get off of your bike and push through that area. And like the Japanese garden, the gravel path is a no biking, but most everything is a dual usage here. So
Okay.
of course, the bikers yield to hikers, as your, respects and the rules and regulations for hiking. So we just
So
try
how
to
many
give everybody a warning.
day hike trails do you have here?
For mileage?
Well, no, like are some connected? Or?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you could there's like different trails, on some of the like trail usage apps that I'm sure you use, like All Trails and
Okay.
Trail Forks and things like that.
Okay.
They have some different loops that are, already created that tell you what to do when you're out there on the trails. And you can get like a 10 to 12 to 15 mile hike, depending on
Okay.
how many of the land trust property that you're gonna add in with our trails as well.
Okay. So is there a division of land trust, or can you go right from Monte Sano Park to a land trust trail?
You go right from Monte Sano to the land trust.
That's awesome.
It's really
So
awesome.
that's a great
It gives
collaborative,
people,
too.
it gives people a lot
Yeah.
of mileage too, because that's what they want if they're going out.
Yeah.
Some people want to spend 10 hours out.
Oh, I have a friend who, Chrissy Scott. She loves the mountain running.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Well, and we have several mountain races, foot races. There's the DZ 50K run. There's Mountain Mist.
Mountain Mist race.
So a couple of stage races that come in where they'll race on the park, then go on to the land trust and do a race
Okay.
in different stages and all. And then, of course, there's a mountain bike time trials and some mountain bike races that come in.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Cool. So on the trails, you would recommend people having plenty of water. Hiking boots, are they required, or can they just wear sneaks? Or
You need to wear something, you need to wear sturdy foot gear because the trails are rocky and they've got roots, and you're not gonna get far if you don't have some good footwear.
okay.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
even the flattest portion of the trails, you're still going to have roots and rocks. It's
Okay.
just safer
Because it's
for
a
you.
mountain.
Absolutely, it's safer for you. And when we say it doesn't have any major elevation change, you're still going down and coming back up, at least 50 to 100 feet here and there. So it's definitely safer for your ankles.
Okay. So let's shift gears. You can also stay here. There are cabins, and you can bring a camper, right?
Yes,
So tell us
absolutely.
about people who decide, I'm going to Monte Sano and I'm spending the weekend or
We'll let
longer.
we'll let you do the camping.
Okay, well, we have an 85 site campground. We can handle almost any size rig. Length is not a problem. We have full hookup sites, a limited number of full hookup sites. We have quite a few water and electric sites. We also have 20 primitive sites for people who want to tent camp, and those are all behind a security gate in one area, so there's not people wandering through and that sort of stuff. They are also close to the trails, so you can literally walk from your campsite to a trail and then connect to the other trails and go all over the park from your campsite.
Wonderful. That's pretty awesome.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible.
Now, you have to make a reservation for staying?
It's best. Camping has become extremely popular, and our weekends have been maxed out for the last several weeks, and it's always best to make a reservation. You can do them online, or you can call the office and they can make a reservation for you.
Okay.
A lot of people have a favorite site. They want to get that particular site every time they come up, so it's always best to.
As far in advance as you can.
Okay. And the website is?
If you go to alapark.com, you'll choose a specific park, which of course would be Monte Sano. It would take you to our homepage for our park information. On the far right side, it has a book reservations now link that actually takes you to a third-party site.
For making the campsite?
Yes, ma'am, for camping and cabin reservations.
Okay. Excellent. Tell me about the caves. There are caves?
There are caves on the park. The biggest one is the Natural Well. Natural well is basically, if you're looking at it from the outside, it's basically a hole in the ground. Okay. It starts off with a 150-foot vertical shaft, and then it's got several miles of caves that connect to it. You need to get a permit from the office if you want to go caving. Of course, if you go in a natural well, you're going to have to be able to rappel and have all of your equipment in with you. We have some grotto caves around, a few of those that people are welcome to enjoy. But the natural well not only requires a permit from us, but we ask people to contact the Speleological Association here in Huntsville, because one of the things we're trying to prevent is the brown-nosed fungus that gets in the bass.
Right.
Trying to limit that, so limit the amount of visitors to that. And of course, we want to know if you get out or not.
Right.
Does require the permit, just like Dan said, you register for
important.
it. Yes, absolutely. And then we require you to let us know when you're out of the woods.
Yeah, okay.
To return your permit, so we know you're safe.
At Monte Sano, you can have a wedding here or a function. You have many different venues to have that big event.
So the Events Lodge, where we are now, that's one of the biggest facility that we have. Most popular, small functions as far as bridal shower, baby showers, all the way up to your weddings that are 250 plus people because of the size of the facility. Outside is one of the most beautiful places in the park to get married. You've got the beautiful terrace there, the gazebo set up, and then of course the view is just to die for. Mm-hmm. Of course, it is one of the most expensive, so a lot of people like to go the route of like one of the pavilion rentals. Mm-hmm. And you have 3 different sizes. You've got a very small pavilion in the back of the bluff line, which you also have that amazing overlook view. Yeah. The large pavilion, which is also there in the picnic area, and then we also have a 3rd pavilion that's across from us at the lodge. Okay. And this year we just finished the new Trailhead Pavilion that's at the Bikers Lot. It's a great pavilion. It's got bathrooms connected to it. It's got changing rooms for our bikers, social area. It's pretty amazing. So no matter what kind of event you're looking to host, we usually have something that can accommodate you for the size, whatever your budget is. Try to work with you as much as possible to see what's going to work the best.
Now, do they say we want a wedding party to stay in the cabins and have the wedding here as well?
I mean, a lot of times we'll come through, especially because a lot of folks have family out of town, family and friends that are traveling. It's such a melting pot, so they're from all over the world, which obviously and people will come through and rent out, all 14 cabins. If their family has a camper, they might drag their camper with them across the country and set up in the campground. But a lot of the families that do host some larger, family reunions or weddings and things like that will come through and rent out the cabins for the entire weekend so that, they can all congregate here. They're close. They're not getting back really late. And it works out really well, especially for getting ready and things like that.
Yeah. Do you have repeat families that just say, every year we're going to take this week and come
We do. We actually have quite a few of them. Some of them are local, and then some of them aren't too far from us. Here in Huntsville especially, we're a little bit different than some of the other parks because our local support is what makes us so profitable. Most parks have a lot of folks that travel in from out of state, different parts of the country and different parts of the world, but our locals are some of our biggest financial supporters. So a lot of those families that come in and book out those cabins for an entire week or 5 days or whatever.
They're actually from not too far away.
They might be from Hampton Coast. They might be just 10 minutes from us. It's definitely like a different part of the world being up here for them.
And they might get 5 or 6 campsites in the campground. Every year.
Yeah. Have a just to get together for somebody's birthday at the campground pavilion or something like that. It's just a great place to congregate.
Yeah. So let's talk about the cabins.
So the cabins 1 through 11 are the original structures that the CCC did in the 1930s.
Okay,
with all
they're original.
They're original. They all have a working fireplace.
How hard are they to keep up?
Constant
repairs.
But I bet people really like the historical value.
They do. They love it. They love being able, everybody likes to rent in October, November, December and build a fireplace inside because so many people don't have that in their home now. So it's a big deal for their kids or for the rest of their family.
This is how to build a fire.
It keeps you very cozy in there for sure because it's a small structure, it's set up like a studio apartment. And most everything has a screened-in porch. So, you do have area that's protected for when it is so buggy outside or so muggy like it is today.
But I bet
and they all have views off the bluff.
Yeah, and I bet the fall colors, that's why it's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. So just like we said with camping, you want to make a reservation really as far out as you can. So, like I said, 1 through 11 is the original stone. We do have 3 additional cabins that are wood frames that just aren't the original stone cabins and don't have a fireplace.
Okay.
They're really nice. They're still along the same bluff line. You have that screened-in porch area there. You have the outdoor fire pit and a picnic table as well. So you still get to build a fire, just not inside your
You
cabin.
probably noticed how popular it was, and they were like, well, we need to build a few more.
Yeah. And, this time of the year and into the fall, we could probably rent.
We could rent twice as many in the fall if we had them.
Yeah.
But
Just that it's
the
fun.
workmanship on those cabins we're not able to duplicate that now.
Okay, yeah.
If you look at the stonework and the woodwork on the inside of it, that's another thing about keeping them up, is
Okay.
you have to put it back as much like it was as possible.
Yeah.
And that takes time a lot of times to
Yeah,
do that.
well,
Craftsmanship.
who
yeah.
know how to work with that.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of,
And
yeah.
2 of the cabins are dog friendly, and one of them is ADA compliant.
Oh, that's good to know. Did you hear that, my little pet lovers? I have a lot of travelers. who-
Well, it's a big deal,
travel with their
and,
pets.
they do grow really quickly, just like we said, as far as making reservations, especially if you need something that's pet friendly, because we do just have those 2 options.
Is there a limit to how long you can stay in the cabin?
No, ma'am, it's just all based off availability.
Okay, okay.
If we, a lot of those weekends for like Labor Day, Memorial Day,
Valentine's Day.
a lot of those weekends
Yeah.
throughout the summer, especially throughout the fall, it's full. So you might be lucky if you could catch one for, 5 to 7 days. We don't offer any kind of like extended stay rates or anything like that because they are so popular.
Does the season end for the cabins for renting, like at winter time, or?
No, ma'am, we rent 365 days a year
Okay, okay,
for camping and for cabins.
They're especially popular in the wintertime.
okay, okay. That's good to know too.
And, it's real nice for a lot of our local folks for like Thanksgiving and Christmas
Sure.
and things like that. People don't want to, stay with their family. They feel like they're being a burden and they have a small
Maybe
home
they don't
that
want to
can rent on
clean
the
their
mountain.
house.
Maybe so, yeah. Maybe they want to get them to stay their own place.
That's
So, but it's really nice. So we
Yeah.
do have a lot of traffic during the winter time, like Dan said, and then especially over the holidays.
Good.
We also have an 18-hole disc golf course. It's
Oh,
very
yes.
popular
Yes,
with a lot of
Frisbee
golf.
golf. Yes. Okay.
the 18-hole disc golf course.
Yeah.
You pay your day use fee, you come in, you can play as many holes as you want until closing time.
Frisbee golf is super cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's
And
incredible.
it's a great course that the guys have built, and they help maintain it, and it's probably the best course in Huntsville, I would say.
Well, and this close to RTJ for the Robert Trent Jones,
Yeah.
you might have Frisbee golfers.
You
golfers.
might, yeah, it's possible. But they, like Dan said, they do a lot of work on the course. It's very nice. It's a major effort between the people that play so much. They do a lot of improvements on the course, and people seem to really enjoy it. So
Well, I know when I've been to special events up here that people always bring their Frisbee,
Yeah.
and want to play it.
Why not?
Yeah, I know.
A lot of people, ask a lot of questions because they're unsure about, like what's the rules. It's like, just get out there and have fun.
Yeah. I do know that people come to the Overlook to take graduation, wedding photos, special event photos. Do you have to have a permit for that, for taking photographs? And
No, ma'am. As long as you're paying your entrance fee to get in the front gate, park's really free reign for whatever you would like to do for the day. Of course, you have to follow all your rules and regulations of the park. If you're taking any kind of photographs or videos, as long as it's just you, everybody knows they're being photographed.
But no drones.
No drones.
Are you also on social media? Is Monte Sano on Facebook and
Yes,
Instagram?
absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So Instagram handle is just, Monte Sano State Park. Your Facebook page is Monte Sano State Park, Huntsville, Alabama. So it does have the Huntsville, Alabama in the name and title on the park page.
Very good. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed being here and being with my good longtime friend Dan and my new friend Emma. Thanks for being here for another episode of Talking Travel with Wendy.